Well, congratulations, everyone. We got through week or module one successfully. Pretty good. I mean, you guys were great. You got most of you got up on the boards by Thursday for the discussion, and almost every single assignment was turned in, which is, not always the case. But again, I just really want to encourage you to do the work as it comes in, because if you do, it just makes your final project so much easier, because you're really writing your final project right now. You don't know you're doing that, but you are. And most of these classes do work in that way, where you're just developing your ideas, you're working on your websites. This week you identified the theme, and then now you're deciding what pages you want to have. And it all builds. So if you don't do the first assignment, then you're behind. And I know for me that why I never procrastinate is because I can't stand the feeling of having more to do. It all just piles up. So I love the in and out policy of work, and it has served me well, just because I don't end up behind it. I'm using a lot of cliches. I don't end up behind the 8 ball. How about that? So just see how you can just stay on time with your assignments. It works out better. The biggest problem I had with this your assignment was with URLs, faulty links, the need for passwords. I wrote about it in the announcement, and some of you have rectified the situation. But if you want to, send me something that works, or an image, or a screenshot. I believe it or not, I do not have all the themes from WordPress memorized. I don't. I'm barely, I'm like you. I'm, in self-isolation with 2 dogs and a husband, and we're still married. After, what day am I on? I've been writing down in my calendar. I'm on day 34 of self-isolation. So I feel like I'm doing pretty good, that there hasn't been murder in my house or mayhem. Just dogs going crazy, dogs getting sick, moms being sick. There's something out there right now going on. So just make sure that you provide the right URL. What I will do, I did my best. I clicked, I Googled, and after that, I gave up. I don't have time to wrangle the universe to try to find your information. You really need to provide it for me. In terms of where you're leading us with your authors, I had a couple of things to say. One is, while I know we are asked to, I just had to break up a dog imbroglio. While I totally understand that we want to look to our superstar writers in order, sorry, come on, Marcel. Marcel is wanting to attack. I recommend trying to find someone a couple notches down. Someone successful and prolific and well, maybe well known, but not the big uber person in your genre. So if my genre right now, my latest book was poetry, if I, I'm not going to go looking at, who's the biggest poet? Oh, Ada Limon. I won't go to Ada Limon. I'll go to maybe someone like Susan Brown, who's making a way up in the world. And if I'm writing romance, I'm not going to go to Nora Roberts. I'm going to go maybe to somebody else I can't think of right now. But somebody lower who's still striving, who probably is doing the website on her own, or had someone created for her or crafted for her, which many of you may do. Marcel, sit. I'm sorry. Sit. I'm surprised I still own dogs at this point. So just think about it. Think about, keeping Stephen King and Nora Roberts and James Patterson and Clive Barker and Tom Clancy, who's dead but still writing. It's a miracle. But then maybe people below. So not go up and then go middle. Sometimes people go one notch above themselves, which is also very useful, like people who just sold their debut. That might be something to do. The other thing is have some, be very conscious about where you're leading us to with the websites you are providing. Some writing is triggering for people. So I think about, my second agent wanted me to write romance, and I didn't know how to write romance, so I just read a lot of romance, and he sent me some romances that he represented. And this was not romance. I think it was really erotica. And I am not opposed to any of it, but it was like literally every 3 pages, there was this like 10-page sex scene, and then we'd get through one sex scene, and then I'd have 3 pages a piece, and then boom, we'd be at it again. And I'm like, and it got progressively weirder. And I guess, like books like 50 Shades of Grey, for instance, it does it does upset a lot of sensibilities, this kind of BDSM. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that some people are triggered. So if you are leading us to a writer who has some kind of maybe outlier sensibility, just alert us. That's all I'm saying, as people say. It is what it is. Behind the 8 ball, phone call. Okay, I think I'm gonna hang up now. I've disturbed you enough with my dogs and my phone calls. But I look forward to next week and seeing what you guys do with your websites.